Hello everyone and welcome to Archipelago Multi-World Randomizer tutorial. In this video I'll try to explain how to set up Archipelago, and in the next few follow-up videos I'll explain how to set up specific games, how to make them work. So to set up Archipelago in general, what everyone has to do. Firstly, most games, not all of them, but most games require Archipelago, a client on your computer. One of ways to download it is to start on main page of Archipelago, website archipelago.gg. Go to setup guides, pick the first one, and there is immediately a link to Archipelago software. You can go there and you get there and download the links or assets below. I'll take this one. So we download it. We're waiting for download and we launch the setup file. Going through all steps of setup, accepting the license agreement, obviously, choosing where to install the Archipelago software, depending on what you're planning to do. You don't have to install everything. Generator and server is required if you want to host game locally, or in our words, when you want to play something without internet connection. Usually it won't be the case. It's way easier to set up things through Archipelago website. So generator and server are usually not needed for most players anyway. Next, you choose what clients you want to install. There are listed all games that in some way require Archipelago software. Not all games require Archipelago software. For example, Witness is one of games playable through Archipelago, but it does not require any specific client to be installed with it. So if you see game that you might want to play in future, you leave check in. If you see the game you probably won't play in future, you uncheck it. And ability to text and use commands for Archipelago software is pretty important, so I suggest that to be left in. Press next and install. So I'll let it be installed in the background. What I want to show how player creates special kind of file, settings file. Format is .yaml. It's the format that allows a randomizer to create a game with specified settings. So how does one create this kind of file? Let me show on the example of a witness. All games on this list of available games have a game page that has some explanation, some description of a game, setup guides, with guides how to set up that specific game, and settings page, the most important. So what player should do? He should go to this page, archipelago.gg/games. They should pick the game they want to play, and they want to read the setup guides for this game, obviously, how to set up, how to play it, but they also want to go to settings page on the game they want to play. Here you can tweak most options. You can hover over question mark icon to get more detailed description of what each settings does. And when you've done with tweaking difficulty for you, you press export setting button. As you can see, that downloads a .yml file with your name in it. Next step, on the day of the event, when you're playing with your friends, when you're playing that multi-world, you're sending this YAML file to the host, to one person who will create the room for everyone. It's pretty much where individual setup ends. As I said, there are important steps to do from setup guides. Every player needs to follow setup guide for their personal game, but it all culminates at sending that YAML file to the host after all of our steps from setup guide was followed through. And it depends on the game itself. For some games, after creating the room, a host will get access to specific files that host would send to the players that need to apply them. That's also usually described in setup guides for a specific game. So, that's it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.